All right, so this is meant to be a part demo and part how to find some really useful stuff inside the community. What I feel like sometimes is people sign up really excited about the potential of the things they can have access to here and the value, and then they're not sure how to use it and not sure how to find things that they're looking for. Actually, they don't even know what to look for sometimes. It's like they don't even know what they don't know. So, and I forget to remember that because I just know everything that's in there because I put a lot of it in there. So that's what this is meant to be today. And then I do want to highlight what I consider to be some of the more important posts that I would like for you to go through. And then we can just open it up to discussions. If you have any questions, just let me know as I go through this. Okay, so it's so good to see all y'all in here. What's up, Jana? All right. Cool. So as most of you probably know, because I think we are all members, even though I did open this up to some people that were interested in just checking it out. When you first come in, you first sign up, you're prompted with a initial question, and that's usually very interesting, very fun for most of us. And now most of us should see like a little welcome checklist. So we have some posts that we feel like are really important or some topics that are really important that are in a checklist here. And I would recommend maybe going through most of those. The welcome course to SuperHumans United is going to cover in more detail what we're actually covering today. And it's a little bit longer than I think it needs to be. I'll probably end up redoing that and just making it really efficient and short. But the rest of it is super, I think, useful, okay? And just to highlight a few things, the meal plans are very, very useful for most people. Today, me and Shirley actually jumped on and learned how to actually listen to podcasts. So we have a video on how to do that. We have an amazing podcast, but I also share a lot of podcasts in here. And if you're not listening to podcasts, that might be a little bit frustrating because you don't know how to do it. And with any of this stuff, if you're still unclear, then just reach out to me and I'd love to spend some personal time with you to help you figure it out. If you ever want to get on a short call to talk about anything that you need to or want to, we have a 15-minute strategy call, and it's a specific link that you can find some time in my calendar. And then we also have a spouse rate. We're all paying less than $1 a day for access to this community. Spouse rate is $9.99 a month. All right, if you'd like to get your spouse in here. I do find it very useful for people to have their own profiles and accounts so they can interact as themselves, all right, if you've got like a family situation going on. All right, so I do love this little welcome checklist here. So the first thing that I wanna highlight, now you can access all of this from your phone or the PC. I am on the PC. The main difference between the phone and the PC is instead of this huge menu that you see over here, you're gonna see the 3-line bar menu at the top left. And when you click that, you should see the same exact items over here. Once you get into a course or a group, that menu is specific to the course or group, and then you have to get back out of it, get back into the main feed here to see this main menu, but it's identical otherwise, okay? Something really cool is we all have our own little, see this little person here with the plus thing? This is your own personal link that you can share this community with other people. And we have what is called an ambassador program. We haven't highlighted that too much yet, but with that ambassador program, there's different levels, and depending on how many people check out the community based on your referral link, you have a reduction in your rate, and then you get a lifetime free membership at some point. Plus, we also have some swag built into it, like some t-shirts and canteens and things. So I feel like I have a video that we're actually doing this week, and we'll probably post it next week on how to share the gift of health with other people. We've done some posts and some live Zoom calls on that before, but this is specific to like sending something through email or posting something on Facebook or something like that. I feel like sharing a link to something with someone that you care about is a very passive way of sharing this gift of health without, inserting yourself and doing the writing reflex and telling people that what they're doing is wrong, which most people are going to put up walls or something like that. So, all right. And then, so up here also we have our chat. So a lot of people, I don't think understand. Hey, Adriana, what's up? I think she just muted herself. All right, cool. So that little chat box there is a chat. So what you'll find when you come in here is any chats that are specific to you. And we also have a group chat here. So you see that there's 62 people on this group chat. That's basically all the members that were a part of this group chat. So sometimes you'll see the SHT profile put out like reminders for talks and specific Zoom links, and that's a group chat. Now you can also reply in that group chat if you'd like to, if you have a question about what was posted. All right, so that's what that symbol means. Adriana, good to have you in here. I'm going to mute you. And then if you want to unmute yourself, you can. No problem whatsoever. Cool. All right. And then we have notifications very similar to Facebook. This is a new guy, so he doesn't have any notifications, but you'll see general notifications. And then you'll also see specific notifications to you. So if you're tagged, or if someone comments on your post or likes your post or recommends your post, then you'll see a little bit different verbiage there. All right. Now, the most important thing to do starting out, I think, is to come in here and complete your profile, because this place is a place of love and support and education and experience. And we're all here for the same thing, which is to get better. And it's health focused. So it'd be useful to see who it is that we're talking to, or who it is that's in this group with us. So when you come up here and you click on your profile button, you should be able to go to view your profile. And we have two main pictures here. See, Jana, this is what we're going to call our kid if we had kids. So we have two main pictures here. We have a little circle icon picture, and that's the thing that's going to show up with your posts. Okay, that's the main thing most people see. But if someone comes to your profile, we also have a background picture that you can change. Also within your profile, you can do a short little message about yourself. All right, this is relatively short, and it has a little countdown character counter, so it tells you when you're getting to the end of it. I completely maximize mine out. You can choose your location. Not everyone is from Vegas. Spectrum is how long you've been with the SHT. And then you can add personal links if you want to add your Facebook profile. You can add multiple links by adding this little plus button right here. And then we have an introduction, and this is where you can share just a little bit more information about yourself. You can see here you have 600 characters, okay? If you want to go ahead and add yourself or subscribe yourself to courses or groups or topics, you can do that here. But you may want to wait until you actually check those things out when I show you what those actually look like, okay? All right, so super important. Even if you don't, I know that a lot of us are like the kind of people that like to just watch what's going on, and we check in here and there. We use a recipe, but we don't interact, and we don't like, and we don't comment. And that's totally fine. I mean, you can meet this where you want to, but I think it is useful to have your profile filled out so that people can just know who's here, you know, and in the chance that you're interacting with someone, it doesn't look like a ghost profile. Okay, cool. So then, oh, super important too. Another relative complaint that I've gotten in the past is on notifications, okay? So if you're getting notifications on the phone app and you're getting notifications via email, every time there's a post or every time there's some kind of activity, I could see that being very annoying, okay? A lot of us are trying to de-socialize and get off of some of these social platforms. And so to minimize those notifications, I would go to your personal settings and then click on your notifications. And I personally, if you're going to do the email updates, just my personal preference, and again, some people actually respond better getting an email update with every comment or event or notification. When I do the email updates, I like the daily digest. So you only get one email per day, and then that summarizes everything that you would have gotten through individual notifications. All right. Now, I do highly recommend having the phone app on your phone, because that's how most of us are going to interact with it. And then I would highly recommend, although we recommend not having notifications for most things on your phone, because this is health focused and a lot of the things that we put out are live based and live Zoom calls, I would recommend having notifications on your phone. Now, if you've got notifications on your phone, you could just simply turn off your email updates if you want to. Okay, so this would be something to maybe minimize a few headaches, because I have had some relative complaints in that area. All right, so we've covered chat, we've covered all the things on the right-hand side here. So now let's come over and check out what we have on the left-hand pane. And again, if you're on your phone, that would be the three little lines there. Discovery, I think, is really cool. If you're not sure where to start, this would kind of give you an overview of the entire group. These are the upcoming events that we have. So we've got this event right now. We've got our dinner at Herbs and Rye on Saturday evening. We got a great group. It looks like about 15 people. I'm super excited about it. We come down to featured. We're always updating the featured with our latest post or most important post or upcoming events. All right. So recently we posted the Don't Feed Your Kids These Foods, which I thought was a great post. I think every one of us needs to go through this just to see as an example what is in some of these things. You know, that a lot of us consume. I don't know why everybody feeds their kids goldfish. I know it's convenient, but it's funny. It's so popular. So anyway, that would be really useful to go through just to see the exact ingredients that are in there. We'll make a little plug at the top about why it's important to avoid those ingredients. So featured is always like our latest and greatest, okay? I would always scan through that and just see what we got because we're always reorganizing it and adding and taking away based on what we feel like is relevant and important. All right, then we have our welcome checklist, the same thing that you see in the SOL checklist that should be like almost like a sidebar menu here. I think it's very useful to chip away at that. All right, then we come down to top posts, and this is top posts based on interaction. So that might be kind of useful. Interesting that over the past month, the top post was the what's your popcorn preference. All right. And then we come down to topics. Topics is basically all of our posts grouped by category. All right. So whenever you post or I post or anyone posts, the system will ask you to associate it with a category. And sometimes there's not a category to associate with what you want to say, but usually there will be. So for instance, if you're posting a recipe, you'd want to associate with the recipe topic so that when people go to search in recipes, all the recipes are there. Okay. So we have the W.Y.N.K topic, which is the what you need to know. This is crucial information here. This is one of those topics that I would slowly chip away at. These are recommended podcasts for the most part. It's also a lot of information on our preparedness, a few videos, this changing world order, absolutely crucial for us all to watch considering the times that we're in right now. So yeah, this is what I would consider to be like our most important self-reliance based information, okay? If we come back to topics, I mean, we could do it through discovery or in that topic section here. Also very important, recorded live Zoom calls. So today's live Zoom call will be put into the recorded live Zoom calls. Sometimes we will duplicate posts and put it if it feels like it resonates with another topic, just so that people can easily find it. Recipes. I think most of us, probably the most popular topic that people use and access here is going to be recipes. So, you know, you can easily just scroll through here and pick out recipes that you want to experiment with. If you're thinking about a specific ingredient, you can type in the ingredients such as eggs, and you'll pull up all the egg-based recipes. So that would be really useful. Eventually, I think there's an update that's coming out where they're going to allow you to do multiple categorizations. So we could have recipes, and then we could also have breakfast recipes, and so it'll be even easier to find things. But right now, everything's kind of grouped under recipes. All right. So we've got the recipes topic, which is super useful. A recent topic is fitness foundations and workouts, and where we're posting example workouts, and these are inspired by some of my private clients. And so sometimes with my private clients, we work on some workout programming, we do some workout Zoom-based calls, and a lot of times it's useful for me to have some recorded videos that I send out to them. So I'm sharing that information there. So if you're looking for some example workouts, then that's a really, really useful topic. We've got all the posts associated with how to use SuperHumans United. We got dessert recipes, and I think most of us are familiar with the meal plans. Meal plans, I've gotten a lot of great feedback from them. I think we've got about 15 going on right now. So when you click on the meal plans, here's something else that I think a lot of people kind of miss, depending on whether you're on the phone or on the PC. This is not the entire post. When you click on any of the verbs here or wordage here, then you pull up the entire post, right? And within these entire posts, we've got a downloadable PDF of the meal plan. All right, so you can print that out or you can save it to your computer. In that downloadable PDF, we have, you know, the meal plan, we have lunch, and we use the leftovers method. So we've got the 2 days, 2 evenings worth of meals. We've got a shopping list, and then we've got a snack page, and then every recipe broken out as a separate page, right? Now, if we go back into the meal plan in Mighty Networks, then you'll see that we also have that same information in the post. So you don't have to actually click on the recipe or the PDF or download the PDF. You can see everything in here. If there are recipes that are already in this community, then we will link to those recipes. And sometimes you'll see that. I don't see that we have one of those in here just yet. Oh yeah, we do, right here. Get your organ supplements, okay? All right, now also if you're on the PC, to make it a little bit easier to view, you'll see these little 2 arrows here. You can expand it, make it a little bit bigger, a little bit wider, and then you can contract it. All right. Cool, meal plans is super, super popular. Let's see what else. How to listen to our podcast. Oh wait, we're down here topics. Meal plans and kids and families. We're adding more and more posts to the kids and families topic. So that's becoming a little bit more popular. Supplementation, and then approved products. Approved products would be things like our chips and crackers and cookies and things that we're all kind of looking for, okay? As little alternatives to things that we think we have to give up. All right, then we've also got our courses and our groups. So I'm gonna come over here now. We can also access this information. That's why discovery is kind of useful, because it kind of groups everything together here. If I come over here, I can access that same information, but let's just go down the line. If we look at members, we can see all the different members that are in here. We can sort it by newest, and we can also sort it by closest to you. All right, and then if you want to click on the profile, read a little bit about the person, which is why it's useful to have a picture and a little bio. You can do that. You can also chat privately with them by clicking here and hitting say hello, or you can go up to the chat function and just type in their name if you have a question. We have that happen a lot, sometimes, especially, some females coming in, look for someone about their age, and they have a question that they only feel comfortable asking another female. Like I totally encourage that, okay? If we come down here to invite, we see that same invite link. We also have an opportunity to plug in an email and customize a message if you want to send that out to somebody. And then we see the same topics here, just ordered in a different way. Might be a little bit easier to look at. And then we come down here to events. We have our spectrums, which is just seeing who's in what spectrum, who's been with SHT the longest and the shortest. Might be interesting to check out. For groups right now, the main groups that we have are our book clubs. So we just finished up Zen and the Art of Happiness book club, which was really fun. I loved it. I love the structure of it. I love the accountability of it. And just to make a plug for these book clubs, I think most of us probably understand that we should or could or want to be reading a little bit more. And it's maybe hard to find time and or, sometimes it's useful to have some structure associated with it. So what I loved about this book club is we give you recommended reading. What's up, Cara? I'm going to mute you. If you got something to say, just jump in, okay? All right. And Cara headed up that last book club. That was really great. So anyway, with this book club, what I love about it is it gives you the perfect amount of structure because it's recommended reading, but it's short reading. At the most, it's about 15 to 20 minutes reading a day. And then there's some accountability because we ask every participant to post their summary, their key idea, their key takeaway of that chapter or that section that they're reading, right? So, and what's great about them as well is they're all perpetual. So we finished this book club for the people that were doing it live, but if you want to join the Zen and Art of Happiness book club, you can jump in here. Oh, I got to request access. You can jump in there. If you want to approve me, Cara, that would be really cool. I'm Wolfgang Amadeus right now. So once you get inside the book club, you can still read following the schedule that we have there, and you can still post according to the recommended way that we post, because you post and associate with your post with the chapter that you're giving a little sentence or summary on. And then you get to see everybody else's comments and summaries, and it's going to be this evergreen, great way to get your reading in. Okay, so I'd highly encourage, if you want to read the short book, a lot of great messages in there. Absolutely loved it. Next book club that's coming up, Hunter Gatherer's Guide to 21st Century, an amazing book, phenomenal. Like it's about critical thinking. I love this book. Boom, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, so once you come in here, just like in the main activity feed, well, let's see here. Let me get back to that. I just want to show you an example of how the book club works. So once I'm in here, we have an activity feed. We have a welcome message. Thank you so much, Cara, for putting that together. And then we have, you can see who the members are. And then as you're posting your summary, let's just say that like, this is my summary for some chapter. When I go to post, it's going to ask me to associate with a topic. And that's when I come down here and I associate it with whatever chapter it is that I'm posting about. Right. And then that way everyone can see everyone's post associated with that chapter. And there's so many great insights that came from these things. So just to show you an example, if we come over here to topics, the topics in the book club are equivalent to the topics in the main feed that are like the recipes and everything else. So if we come to chapter 1, we can see everyone's comments and posts on chapter 1. And it was really, really great. I highly encourage you, if you join the book club and you're a little bit late or it's after the initial rollout, do your post before reading everyone else's comments so you have a fresh perspective. But then you can come in here and read everybody's comments and posts. I just absolutely loved it. What I really liked about it was I read all the time, and a lot of times it's almost mindless reading. So as I'm reading, I'm like, oh, I missed that. I wasn't even paying attention. But since I know that I have to make a post about it, then I am really dialed in with my focus. And because it's short reading, I can keep that attention span for that short period of time. So highly encourage y'all. Zen and the Art of Happiness, Hunter Guide to 21st Century, phenomenal book. I would love to see you guys in there. We are kicking that off on July 4th. So we have between now and July 4th to get our books. Alex Fitzgerald is heading this thing up, and I'm excited because we both are big into critical thinking. So courses, you can kind of scroll through here and see what resonates with you. Fitness Foundations was a great talk. All right, a lot of these courses we shot live, but the structure of the live talk was so that we could break it up into segments. And so when we come in here, you'll see that we have all the different sections here. And what's cool about this is for accountability, you can check off each section as you watch or listen, and every section has its resources with it. The manual's super, super solid. I'm really, really proud of it. All right, we got the welcome course here. We have our SHT 2022 that we did earlier this year, which is a combination of nutrition and sleep and mindfulness and fitness. And that was a solid progression. So we have that broken out. A lot of us are coming into this after working with me privately. Some of us came on it, just out of nowhere. So this might be something to go through to kind of be either a refresher for those of us that are veterans or for those of us that haven't had access to some of the lifestyle factors. It might be useful to go through this course. Okay. Really, really solid. What else? Developing health routine, real food basics, fasting. The sleep courses are amazing. Making an argument for sleep is really just talking about how sleep works and just giving you an appreciation for sleep. The how to improve sleep is actually the what to do to improve your sleep. Emergency preparedness. This was the course that we did last year, and it was really solid. And then this year we have some updated emergency. We call it self-reliance now. So there's a lot of awesome courses in here. Hiking 101 was really popular last year. All right. Now, once you get into the courses, you have the same ability to, there's an activity feed. You can check out the members. You can do posts specific to the course. So then we have a link to our store. So those of you that are purchase supplements and or SHT meals on a regular basis, you'll see that here. By the way, we just updated our nutrition manual and have added some pages and taken some concepts out. Thank you so much, Cara, for helping me proofread and make that really, really awesome. So we have about 18 printed in stock right now. So if you'd like to get that as a gift for someone, it's a walkthrough workbook. It's really solid. All right, cool. So that is the majority of that stuff. Now, let's get into some pro tips on how to find what you're looking for, because most of us don't know what we're looking for. I'm going to highlight some of the things that I think are most important. So we've already mentioned if you're looking for a recipe, but you're not exactly sure what you're looking for, type in the ingredients and you'll pull up just about everything associated with that ingredient. This thing is indexed really well, which means that you can just type in a word and it will pull up everything associated with that word. I don't know how chicken is associated with chocolate chip cookie recipe, but anyway, you can pull up everything associated with chicken. Okay, so that's one way to look for things if you're not sure how to look for what it is that you think you're looking for. And same thing with meal plans and everything else. A very, I guess, important topic that always comes up in the very beginning is concerns around cholesterol and meat. And so, of course, we've put together some information on that. So I'm going to go over here to, let's just type in cholesterol. All right. And then this is our comprehensive cholesterol post. We also have some other posts that I'd highly recommend checking out. This comprehensive cholesterol post, if we get into it, I have a video that I shot relatively short, and then I go over some of my favorite resources here. And I've just updated these recently. All right. I did a talk not too long ago on what I call the Tale of Three Doctors. If you haven't watched that, I highly recommend it. Tale of Three Doctors, super, super solid. In fact, I'm going to make sure that I remind everyone to watch that because it was really good. And then some of my favorite topics and resources as far as cholesterol goes. Okay, so this would be a useful post. As you scroll down, some other podcasts, and then we go into some information about cholesterol, what cholesterol does in the body, myths and truths, what to look for in your standard lipid panel and advanced panels and standard deviations and cholesterol levels around the world and all kinds of cool stuff. So, and this is always being updated with the latest and greatest. So that's a very useful post. Of course, we have some other ones that we put out here. And then also, like I mentioned before, something that always comes up is this concern over meat. So if you just type in meat, you'll pull up, probably some recipes. This meat and saturated fat was an amazing post. And pretty sure I did that as a live talk. Yeah, I think I did it as a live talk. This is a great post because it talks about like what meat is actually consisting of, right? And the different types of meat and the fat content and why we call them saturated and unsaturated, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated. and just some really, really useful info there. As you go through it, we've given you some quotes that you can use to talk to other people intelligently about. So quote to yourself and others, right? Saturated fat is actually stable fat. It's a better way to say it. And when you go through this post and watch that video, then you'll see, what we're talking about there. So that was a very useful post. What else we got over here? Oh, things we like. So if you're looking for alternatives to the things that we think we have to give up because of bad ingredients, then look for this post on things we like. I'm not sure if that's easy to remember or not. Maybe I'll put it as one of our featured, I think I do have it as a featured post. So if we type in things we like, here's this post, things we like. And this has just about every alternative you can possibly think of. We got a list of the brands that we love. And then we've got recommendations for bars and jerky, salad dressings, all the different condiments. I mean, you name it, noodles, pastas, chips, crackers, cookies, flours. Really, really solid post. And we're always updating this as well. All right. So we found that to be very useful. A lot of us are probably familiar with the swaps handout. So we do have a swaps post, which is very similar to the things we like. So remember, the swaps handout is the one that has the main things to look for when reading ingredients at the top, right? Something like this. This is a really great image to keep on your phone so that you can reference it when you're at the grocery store. And then we have a PDF of the swaps handout. And what's cool about that PDF is when you use it digitally, then the different recommendations that we have in here. So for instance, when we say instead of refined salt, use Redmond salt, when we click on this link in the PDF, it'll take you to a picture of it. And so you can either get it on Amazon or at least you know what to look for. All right, so that's the useful thing about the digital version of it. Now, if we scroll down the post, we do the same thing. We give you links to the different products and swaps that we recommend. So this is another way to swap out all your toxic foods or relatively toxic with things made with better ingredients. And if I'm missing anything in here, then let me know. We get feedback all the time and we make corrections and add to, okay? I think that's the main things that people look for. I would say in the beginning, maybe recommended reading, favorite reads. All right. This is also useful if you want to chip away at some background knowledge to help you feel more confident about what it is that we're doing. One of my top picks, The Fat Burn Fix by Dr. Kate Shanahan. She wrote the book Deep Nutrition. I read that like 10 or 12 years ago. Phenomenal medical doctor, New York Times bestseller. And when you read her book, I swear it sounds like she was almost listening to my progressions or what we've been doing together, because it's like almost a lot of very, very similar concepts. And so that's a really, really good confirmation book. And so we just have a bunch of great recommendations here. If you're having struggles with understanding the value and the benefits of eating meat, red meat, and the concerns over cholesterol, I think a couple of really good books is Sacred Cow and The Vegetarian Myth. Catching Fire was one of my favorite books of all time. So recommended reads there. All right, so I think that's the majority of what most people are looking for. And I think a huge takeaway is anything that you think might be in here or that you have a question about, then just type it here and then see what pops up. And if you don't find what you're looking for, then that's when you can actually share a post and ask a question. So I want to go through a little bit of how-tos, okay? So to do a quick post, you just click in this little box and it's the same thing on your phone. And here you can just share anything that you want. I would love it if more people shared recipes. I know you guys are hiding recipes, or not hiding them. I know that you're using recipes that are not in here that would be really useful for other people. So I would love to see some recipes. So you can do a quick post about anything that you want. And when you do a post, when you go to post, it's going to ask you to associate with a topic. So most posts are going to have a topic that you could associate it with. But if it doesn't, sometimes you can just post without a topic, which is totally cool. All right. So I'm pretty sure you can also edit and delete your post if you need to. So that's the quick post. Okay. Now within the quick post also, this is a really cool feature that we all have access to, is we can ask a question. So when I ask a question like, hey, so Shirley asked me this morning, does anyone have any flour recommendations? Right. So that's another thing I need to show you all, flowers. So anyway, I can just post that as a quick post, but if I hit this little pie chart here, it turns it into a question and it will prompt everyone to answer the question. All right, it looks different. It's like a big question. Now, once I turn it into a question, I hit this little drop down. Now I can also, if I want to get creative, or if the question kind of dictates a different type of answer, I can do a multiple choice question. I can add my own answers here. I can add up to 5. And so that's really fun, you know. If you have like a useful question, or if you have something that would be fun, you can do your own multiple choice question. You can have public responses or anonymous responses. We have hot cold posts, which is basically, you've seen the temperature gauges, right? So if I say in here, you know, do you like it hot or cold? But the other day we did popcorn. Do you like it with butter or with honey and butter? You know, do you like it sweet or salty? And if I do it as a hot cold post, then let's just say we associate it with real food nutrition. Then I am the first one that needs to answer this for me to see my results. So you slide this on the spectrum. So if I like it hot, obviously I'd be hot. When I ask the questions, I usually say, you know, hot represents butter and salt, cold represents butter and honey, you know, so you can slide, and maybe you're not completely one way or the other, maybe you're somewhere in between, right? It's a spectrum. So that's a great little feature there. So back on the questions, also we have this ability to do a percentage poll. So you can ask people, you know, what percentage of your foods are plant-based, or what grade would you give yourself on this topic? So a lot of creativity that you have there as a member, okay? And this is just in this little quick post section. Now, if we come up to this blue button here, we also have the ability to create an article. Now, when you're on the phone app, you just start typing, and then you can turn it into either a question, a quick post, or an article. With an article, you have a lot more flexibility for creating some really rich content if you care to. So a lot of times when people post recipes, they'll do it as a quick post. And so there's no formatting, there's no bullets or anything like that. So here, and it gives you a little bit of a tutorial down here, you can add a title to it, you know, whatever your title is. And then once you come into this section here, anytime you see this plus sign, that means you can add a picture, you can add a link, a video link. If you know how to do HTML or know how to embed a YouTube video, you can do that. We've got bullet numbers, and then we have a divider line, right? So I can say something like whatever I want to say. And then I can have list item 1, list item 2, list item 3. And if I highlight my yo, what's up, and I want to turn that into a header, which is like basically bolding things. Header 1 is the biggest. Header 2 is a little bit smaller. Header 3 is a little bit smaller, right? And then I can highlight these things and add a bullet or a numbered list. So it just makes it look a little bit prettier. I can add multiple pictures to it. So if you have an ongoing recipe that has multiple steps, or if you're sharing some pictures about your camping trip and you want to put a picture, say a few words, put a picture, say a few words, add a video, you have the ability to have a lot of creativity. So I'd encourage you, maybe as a homework assignment or a challenge, get in here and try to make an article, a recipe article or something. Have some fun with it. The bigger this thing gets, the more fun it's going to get for everybody. Okay. So that is our articles. What else we have here? And then we covered everything else. Let's see here. Also very similar to Facebook, I just want to highlight, you can tag people. So a lot of times you'll see me, you know, hey, Shirley, check this out. And so she'll get a notification. So if I want to tag someone in a specific post or in some comments, I can do that. Yeah, I think that's the main things I want to cover with that. Before I forget, I do want to show you the flour post. So another very, very important topic that a lot of people, you know, I'm used to cooking, I'm used to baking. What do I do? What are my options? If you just type in the word flour, you'll pull up a lot of different resources. Probably the most useful is going to be our SHT flour mixes. And if we come in here, we have a list of different flours that are approved, popular, less popular, but then we also have links to them. So Shirley asked this morning, okay, so which ones do you specifically recommend? Well, when you click on these, it should take you to Amazon or some other site, and it will show you what we consider to be quality and cost effective, okay? If we come down a little bit further in this, we'll see some flour blends, all right? So these are some traditional flour blends. When we say flour blends, you can use it for a waffle mix, a pancake mix. You can try to make some bread. Adam Pruzan's got a lot of experience with this stuff. So this is a traditional flour blend. This is a simplified version. This is Adam Pruzan's current flour blend. Shirley was asking this morning for breading purposes, if you wanted to coat the outside of a piece of meat or something like that, cooking scale, what would be best? And I think there's some comments down here where we can address that. Arnica can't do almond flour. She can't do cashew flour, right? So we have some modifications that we encourage people to do and how to do that here. We've also got some gluten-free pre-made flour mixes that we recommend. And then let's see, boom, 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 because I did ask that question this morning. See update I just posted. So yeah, Adam just updated in here. All right. So last thing I want to cover before we get off is, last thing I do want to say before getting off here is how to get the most out of this place. We are all here for the same reason, and that is to get healthier, but not to do it alone. I can only imagine, and in fact, I did. If Lisa White was on here, she was a part of my attempt at an online, I had a course situation going on. And you'd sign up, you'd pay a monthly fee, and that gave you access to these courses. It was so boring. Like it literally is just a self-study situation, and you go through and you do the courses and you're by yourself, right? When I found this situation, like it was just everything that I've ever wanted. Now, what we need to make health work for a lifetime is we need education with the correct information, which is what we're facilitating here, and it's always being updated. We also need experience. And so we're encouraging experience with our book club, with our challenges, with our questions. We're trying to facilitate some experience, but then I think what's also missing in a lot of other attempts at diet and health things is going to be this support of other people going through a similar experience. So I want us to embrace that. And in order to do that, you don't have to make yourself post. You don't have to make yourself like, you don't have to make yourself comment. But it is useful because you'll see the posts that have the most engagement and the posts that have a bunch of likes and comments, and you learn so much about the topic that we're discussing. Plus you learn so much about these other people, amazing people that are in here. Okay. So I would just encourage you to check in. I would say every day, at least once, scroll through. If you see something that resonates with you, like it. If you felt led to, make a comment. At a minimum, maybe check in a couple days a week or something along those lines. And again, just make a point to scroll through, see what's going on. Sometimes we have some very, very, very important information. I'm here to tell you, this is where I'm so thankful that you're here in this community, because this is where I am sharing, and I want to share the most crucial information as we move forward in this. I don't even know what to call what's happening with this world. Okay. Yes, it's a lot of it is health-based, and a lot of it is waking everyone up to the reality of what's happening. Okay. So anyway, scroll through, like, comment as you feel led to. I think, again, just to close things out, a lot of people, they're paying for this membership, but they don't know how to use it. So we've gone through a little bit on how to use it. A lot of people feel like sometimes they've learned what they need to learn and they may check out of something. Well, as we all know here, we're always learning. We're always updating. We're always changing our stance. When you look at our new guide versus our guide from 3 years ago, nutrition manual, there's so many things that we've changed our stance on. And the reason we do that is because we want the best for you. And we are not prideful enough that we're not going to go back and say, hey, you know what? We have a different thought or feeling about this. And I also understand that a lot of people are trying to stay off of social media, but I would not consider this, I would not lump this in the social media group, because this is not Facebook. This is not Instagram. This is health-based. This is for us. This is the support of each other and learning the right information and putting it into practice.